Hey everybody, it's Thursday, which means it's another episode of Naturally Unbothered. I'm Shari.
I'm Ebony. I'm Tasha.
This is Wanda. You are
Oobie West.
Oobie West. Hey.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Yes.
I appreciate you having me.
Yes, welcome to Naturally Unbothered. So we just gonna jump into shit. You know what I'm saying? So the first thing I want to know is, if somebody was to describe your sex, what would they say? Oobie, you are a first time guest, so we are gonna have you go first.
What would they say? They would say, that's a good question. If somebody was to describe my sex, what would they say? They would say he was attentive.
Okay, I respect that.
Yeah.
All right, Wanda. What about you?
I've heard that my sex is probably, my mouth is skilltastic.
Okay.
2 dicks, 1 mouth, of course.
Oh, if y'all didn't know who she was, she's 2 dicks, 1 mouth. That's her real name.
Yes. Oobie, I hope you're ready for this, because it's gonna be a little bumpy tonight. It's not all, we don't have dingling on the show all the time, so
Yeah.
Does he know what he's getting? What
Yeah.
he's getting?
You know, do you know what
I
you
don't
get?
think so. I hope so.
Let's give him a formal introduction too, right quick.
Yeah, he needs some more formal introduction. That is absolutely true.
As soon as we get finished with this, I'll let y'all do it, okay?
Word.
All right, Tasha.
What was the question?
How would someone describe your sex? Not in this moment, but just in general.
Passionate.
Okay. Ebony.
Ooh, it's like a sweet soliloquy. Yes, honey, yes.
I've been told my shit should be bottled up so they can just keep it and store it and open it up when they need it.
Okay.
All right. So y'all give Oobie this introduction that y'all feel like he deserved. Let's go.
Yo, so I heard him do spoken word for the first time. I think it was Urban Roots, probably 2013. And my spirit was like, it was like almost shut up in my bones. And then I heard him again at Ice Event Center. He's a wonderful poet, beautifully. I mean, your writing is amazing. Like, I'm married, so I don't even want to be all up on your dick like that. But, like, for real, you are, like, a really talented writer. I just, in your spirit, even, like, meeting him, his spirit is just so, I can only describe you as being, like, sensual. And I don't even know if that's the right word to describe somebody, but when you see him, it's like, he's just, like, sensuality and just, like home.
Well, I appreciate that.
Damn. Hey, that's poetic in itself. You said that man is like home.
Kind of a world-renowned poet, if you will.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. What was that episode? The BET spot that you did? Versus and Flow. Yeah, he was on Versus and Flow.
Okay.
So you have to tell us everything else that you've done.
Yeah. Tell us our audience about you.
Yes.
That's about all that's important. I mean, I'm a poet. I think the next most important thing about me, I'm an advocate, right? So right now, what I do is I travel around and I talk about sexual assault and harassment prevention. So I talk to people about how to keep their hands to themselves, but I do it through poetry.
Okay.
So those are probably, aside from my daughter, those 3 things are probably the most important thing about me. First being my daughter. 2, I'm a poet, probably before I'm a human, and then I'm an advocate.
awesome.
So before the end of the night,
beautiful.
are you gonna leave us with some
Bless
blessed
us.
words?
I'm sure I can do that.
Okay, well, we'll do that before the end of the show. Thank you for being on the show.
Yes.
No problem. Thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
All right, so let's get into this kink.
Oh, goodness.
Yes, y'all ready? This Kinktastic kink is called nullification. Anybody want to take a gander at it besides going to Google?
Shit, can anybody spell nullification?
Oobie, go.
No? Okay, well let me tell you about nullification. Nullification is being sexually turned on by the removal of a body part. So the people, they're called nullas, who people who enjoy this fetish. There was a story about a South Floridian man who goes by the name of Gilding. He was surgically castrated, and it was by choice. In 2011, he had his penis removed, and he is now considering himself cisgender. But this is a fetish. People are now, he said he was embarrassed by the size of his body parts is the main reason why he had it removed. And because of the size of it, it really didn't fit his big, boisterous personality. So he needed a big dick to go with his big personality. And since he didn't have that, he had it removed. But there are people who enjoy the removal of body parts. Just to know that you've removed a finger, your penis, a breast. There are people that'll date you just because of those things.
Shouldn't you be called Jeffrey Dahmer's then? Seriously.
No?
There are some great people in the world. Like, the people are just insane. The insanity of it all. I just don't get it. Maybe I'm shallow. Maybe I just can't see myself, but I'm probably shallow. So I can never do that.
I don't think you're shallow, Ebony. That's not being shallow, chick. I can't see it either. I don't understand how you would cut off what pleasure you would get from taking off a body part, and what pleasure would you get from that? And is it instant pleasure or long-term pleasure? But
these are people who are attracted to the fact that you no longer have a penis. You no longer have a breast. You cut off, you don't have an arm. You know, your leg has been amputated.
What person is attracted to a man who has cut off his penis? Like,
on purpose.
That's insanity. That's crazy.
On purpose.
Like, that's why I love men. Because of that. Like, why? I mean, and other things, of course. I don't objectify men. That's not what I'm doing to you right now. Or other ones on the
First
show.
of all, you're a lying whore. Why are you trying to act brand new because he on the show?
Because, I'll be like...
she's shy and mild-mannered.
Oh, my gosh. Tasha, come on now. Obi, what you feel about this nullification, this fetish?
I'm never surprised by anything. I think sex is like a drug, right? We only understand drugs to the level to which we take them. So if you are a person who started off with alcohol, it wasn't enough, you started smoking weed, you can understand smoking weed, but you can't understand smoking crack. But the people who smoke crack can completely understand smoking crack. So we get to a certain level to where the level we're at isn't enough, and we need that next level high. And those people are at that level where they've become bored with everything that we understand. So now they're doing some shit we don't understand. So I'm never surprised by anything. It's like a drug. People will keep going to new heights. Like, you got people who like having sex with dead people. They just reached a level that I won't understand. But they'll surpass where we are.
Looking like a true poet.
Yeah. And we did that fetish as well. Previously. Tasha, what's your views?
Yeah, I don't really have a view on that. I second what Obi said.
It's different if something happens to the person that my spouse or, someone that I'm involved with, and they lose a limb or something. But for me, actively search for someone that's that way, that's just not my MO. I could never.
Yeah, nothing about that turns me on.
No, and if he lost his dingling somewhere, I just don't, I can't. I don't think that's a deal breaker for me. That's a hard no.
It's a hard no? A hard no? But he don't have, it ain't hard. So is it really a no?
It's a limp no. Okay. It's a limp no.
Is it the plastic water bottle limp no?
Hey, it's like that. No, it's like that thing that it's like a car dealership that's like blowing
Give me a minute.
It's crazy.
All right, that's what's up. All right, so Tasha, you got a whole bunch of shit you want us to get into. Can Tasha get some music?
It'll be quick. It ain't gonna be that long. It's gonna be quick.
Okay, good. Because, my vocals are out since I've been out of surgery, so I haven't had time to prepare any stuff. So, food up, tat, fucks, or facts, dig to that. Is that what we doing?
We're not, but it's okay. We're going to take it. We're going to take it. Because this is some fuck shit.
It is. And y'all get to decide whether y'all think this girl's story is fuck or fact. So,
Okay.
So we're doing this segment that one of the callers called in about, and it's basically celebrity gossip, Oobie. So today's subject, and you actually fit right in because it's some abuse allegedly going on. So this is about T.I. and Tiny and their alleged abuse of this said Sabrina Peterson.
That's her. Peterson. You had it right.
So, Shari is going to play our first clip. And this is just kind of her explaining what she's allegedly saying happened to her.
Clifford Harris put a gun in my head. Truth is, I didn't have a weapon. Truth is, I didn't call the police on him. Truth is, I didn't sue him and I could have. Truth is, I never spoke about this on the many times I could have spoke about it. That's the truth. That's the truth. And regardless of what anyone says, take a moment and put a cold gun to your fucking temple and recite to yourself, bitch, I'm gonna kill you, bitch. We're gonna go truth for truth.
All right. That was her statement.
Any opinions on that?
I mean, it's a lot to take in. Like, just to straight up say somebody, it's a lot to take in.
Now, I'll just add that I saw an article where supposedly she took a lie detector test saying that these allegations were true, and it said that she passed this test. But I seen the date on there, and it seemed like it said 2017. So I'm wondering, why is she coming out with this story now instead of then?
Oh, because, victims of sexual assault, it might take them years to come to grips before they're able to address whatever the issue is, or even to address their rapist or whatever, the person who hurt them. So, I'm not going to say I believe her. Hollywood is...
It's crazy. Anybody else before we play the next clip?
I don't know if there's enough. I don't know if there's enough background in terms of who's right or who's wrong. I don't know the character of T.I. and Tiny, so I don't know if there's enough background. But as far as people coming forward late, I think it's like compared to when I was young. I grew up in Los Angeles, California, where there was a certain expectation for a black man. It was very low. You can only do these things. So if you had any dreams outside that, they'd tell you, no, you can't do that. Stick to this. So your whole life, you grew up thinking you was limited to those things. And you were scared to do something outside of that. So then when you grew up and now you're 40 years old, you're like, you know what? Fuck what they said. I'm going to do what it is I want to do. And then you go try it, and then it works. And it's something you could have been doing 40 years ago. It's the same way with people who are victims of sexual assault. When they're sexually assaulted, society says, well, you had this on. Society says, well, you had that kind of lipstick on. And society says all these things that makes them scared of going forward. And then 20 years later, they see that person who assaulted them flourishing, they say, you know what, fuck that. Whatever they say, I'm going to come forward. So it's one of those things to when you're deterred by society, and when it happens, you don't want to be re-victimized and just shut up. It might take years to build up the courage or enough fuck to say, I'm going to do it. So the fact that she came through late, I don't hold that against her. But I just don't have enough background information, know enough about the people.
Right.
So, Oobie, I have a question. Every time you say fuck in a generalized sentence, do you give the middle finger?
We kind of go hand in hand, right? Like the F, I can't pronounce the F unless the finger comes up.
Okay, I was just curious, like in your normal conversations with people, you be like, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that shit. Like, I just was trying to see if you just was doing it because of today or if it was just a normal fuck.
Hey, everybody don't hear well. Most people can't hear can see, so I just give both of them.
Okay, I got it. I'll take it. I like it. I ain't mad at you. I just wanted to know because I mean, every time you said it, that motherfinger came up.
Wait, and so y'all also know that, and I know that this wasn't brought up about T.I. and Tiny, but Phaedra from the Housewives had mentioned that Candy had a sex dungeon, and it was they tried to get her in that sex dungeon when I was watching that kind of smut television. I saw that episode.
I thought it was Portia. It was Phaedra.
No, it was
maybe it was Portia.
They determined that Phaedra told a whole damn lie.
Yeah, it was a whole lie though. It was a whole lie. That's why she ain't on the show no more.
Right. Because she
I get that part, but what I'm saying is she probably heard the information wrong, so maybe it wasn't. Maybe it wasn't Candy. Maybe it was Tiny. Maybe it was T.I. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
First of all, I don't need you starting on new rumors, okay?
The next clip is gonna give us some background, allegedly, on the history of the relationship with this lady and T.I. and Tiny.
This is the same woman, though.
No, this should be Sakina. This should be Tiny's friend.
You didn't send me that video.
Yeah, I did.
No, boo.
Oh, Sakina, the hairdresser. Yeah, she had. When I watched it on IG, she was in tears. She was real broken up about it. She had said that she didn't have.
Tasha, send it to Ebony so Ebony can forward to me because you don't have an iPhone.
It says that she literally confirms. That's what.
Yeah, the second story that I have is Sabrina Patterson has another alleged victim to share. That's the second one you sent me, Tasha.
I mean, what's the first things victims do? They try to get other victims to come forward also. I'm not doubting it.
Okay, well, let's listen to what she had to say.
Just don't lie. Whatever you do, tell your story. Don't lie and don't be scared. Like, your face isn't honest at all.
Yes, it's just so much has happened, and then it's like I was roofied, so a lot of shit that happened I don't remember.
How were you and where were you at?
I was 16, and I went to some it's like a building, but it was a studio above that, and I went there with a guy named Brandon, and he was supposed to let me meet Tip. Because, I think Tip was thinking about starting his label. And he wanted me to meet Tip. I was nervous then, too. He gave me a drink. Like, he asked me, did I want a drink? I told him, yeah, he gave me the drink. It was like a little shot. I remember it like it was like a little shot. I took.
Just don't lie. Whatever you do, tell your story. Don't lie.
A little shot. I remember it like it was like a little shot. I took the shot. And after I took the shot, like almost 15, 20 minutes later, it was like I was woozy. Like I started losing like mobility, like I couldn't fully function. I remember sitting on it. They had like a little couch. I was sitting on the couch. At first, it was just me and that guy. And then I passed out. And it was like, how you can pass out and then I popped back up and it was like him and two other dudes.
Who is him and two other dudes?
So it was Brandon, and I don't know who the other two men were. Still to this day, I don't know who those two men were.
So where was Tip when all this was happening?
He was in a room on the other side of us. So it was like a hall and a little shop on the other side of us. So it was like a hall. And it was... okay, so you know how an apartment building is like 3 different halls, like the build of an apartment building, where it's like a hallway in different apartment buildings. It was like we were in one room, but I was waiting on Tip. Like I was supposed to be singing for him, giving him my demo. I was supposed to be meeting him.
All right.
Okay, so it sounds... I'm going to get out of... Look, let me get out of my head on this. She said that Tip was in another room.
A whole nother room.
And these people done tricked her.
Somebody else done spiked her drink.
Right. I mean, on the other side.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It's just so hard to say, you know what I'm saying? Like, sexual assault is serious, and I don't want to devalue her story or anything like that, or, you know, say that she's lying, but she didn't say, she just said he was in another room. How can he be held accountable for something that they probably said, hey, we got this little chick up in here, we about to run this little train, or whatever the case may be.
We gonna tell her Tip's in here. Hell, she can't even really say he was in there. She never actually met him.
Exactly. So I'm like, come on. I mean, her story, something probably happened to that young lady, but we all heard that Tip wasn't the one who did it. So I think that Sabrina's reaching, bringing that other girl there. She needs to try to catch Brandon somewhere and get him, you know, to fess up.
What you think, Obi?
Don't sound clear. It still don't sound like enough to incriminate Tip. Like she said, she didn't even say that she saw him. So
yeah,
something may have very well happened to him, but that doesn't mean necessarily the man that Tip was the catalyst.
All right, so this is his response. That's the last one, right, Tasha?
The video that I wanted to say. So the video that I wanted to for y'all to hear was Tiny's best friend, the hairdresser. Y'all know who she is. She got on just saying, that old girl is mad because Tiny won't show her no attention. Apparently they fell out about something, and she supposedly is in love with Tiny. She ain't told nobody how many times she done sucked Tip dick. So apparently she used to deal with them. They used to mess around. She didn't suck his dick, and she didn't ate her pussy, This is what she's saying on her live. She's like, you ain't told that, though. You ain't told them how many times you done sucked. She's fucked Tip. She's fucked with, and she mad now because she won't give her the time of day. So now she's starting all this bullshit because Tiny won't give her no attention because she'll marry Tiny.
Ooh, I think it's such a dangerous game when you involve somebody else in your relationship. It's just so dangerous, man.
Out there and confirm that they were fucking around. But she was, yeah. So that's what the video that's missing was. So then the last video is his response.
Okay.
Oh, imagine. It's been extremely difficult for me to remain quiet in light of all the things that have transpired and all of the egregious allegations that's been tossed around about me and my wife. But it's a reason for that, and I don't mind sharing it. You see, if a person does not have any right to criminally or civilly have you in court, they have no right. The best thing they could do is get you for a defamation suit, drag you in court, make you pay their legal bills, but get you in court. Now, I mean, at this point, man, it's at the point where that don't even matter to me no more, okay? But that's the motive, that's the strategy, that's the intention. Say a whole bunch of false stuff about you. So, as y'all could probably guess or imagine.
That's all he said. Is there a part 2 of what he said?
There's another statement. That was the very first time he spoke out. But then there's another statement that came out where he just basically said whatever him and his wife's sexual life has to do. He said they ain't never drugged nobody. Their sexual life and how they live their life has nothing to do with, you know, these allegations talking about that they've actually drugged people and they've sought out. Matter of fact, another thing that Sakina said on that video, she said that this girl used to go out and bring girls to them.
Mm-hmm.
So they just basically said, he was basically saying in the other response that whatever their sexual life is their sexual life. That don't have nothing to do with them saying, they're not drugging people and all of that. Anything that they've done has been, with consent, basically, is what he said. And this girl is just on some fuck shit, is basically what they're saying.
So,
here's a message from Tiny. She was like, you tripping, hold up. He was just uncle 2 years ago. Now, when did my husband assault you? Did you change your mind and then change it back? What happened today? I'm confused. And that's something that Tiny had wrote. She was like, leave our family, stop harassing us, leave our family alone. So apparently, this girl has, supposedly, Sakina has a VPO on her. She's apparently been harassing them for years. Finding different ways.
So it sounds like, to me personally, it sounds like they had a fuck ship, they got tired of fucking her, and now she's throwing a fit. And the easiest way to throw a fit is to slander everybody's name. That's what I'm grasping. I don't know.
That's kind of what I'm getting too.
And then they may be into gunplay. Because if they have a sexual nature and they do a lot of things in this area, gunplay may be a part of it. So that is a fetish. We've discussed that here on the show. It could be a fetish. Ebony's rolling her eyes. She disagrees. Okay, go.
I can't roll them hard enough. I can't roll my eyes hard enough. I don't believe. This is what I believe. I believe that, maybe he did pull a gun on her. But maybe he didn't put on the gun on her to rape her. Maybe it was something else she did. We don't know what the fuck she did to get it. Look, I had a gun put on me before. For sure I didn't deserve it. I would just say that he didn't do it to rape me. He just did it because I was fucking up. And I don't advocate violence against women, but I definitely, at the time, was holding my own gun. So we don't know the whole story. We don't know. So people are gonna react the way they react.
Bitch, I ain't never heard this story. What the fuck?
People put guns on people because sometimes shit happens. So maybe they were in a relationship. Maybe
what hood are y'all from that you can just pull a gun on somebody and not pull the trigger? That's so illegal. I don't even make
guns are empty. When everybody's gun is empty.
You said it's so illegal.
That's a violation in the hood. You don't pull your gun out unless you're gonna shoot it.
Look, hold on. We were talking about Tiny and T.I. now.
Bitch, we can't skip over the fact that somebody done pulled the gun out on you. We distracted, bitch.
Look, we'll say that for next week. But this week, we just talked about that it can't happen and you not get raped. So I'm saying she probably did something. I don't know what. I'm not saying she deserves whatever she got because she absolutely does not if she was raped. But maybe he did pull a gun on her. We don't know. Maybe she was having a love affair with them three. Maybe they was in a love triangle. I don't know about two dicks, one mouth, but I think we've probably all been in a love triangle before.
Two dicks,
one mouth. All probably been in a love triangle. All of them probably ain't been volatile. But we've all been in a love triangle. And those things can get ugly. Ooh, especially somebody that's feeling like
been in a love triangle.
You've been the top of the pyramid of the love triangle. What you talking about? So I'm just saying, it's so many different intricacies to this story. It's just good. It's really good gossip. Since I'm down and I can't do nothing else, this is what has been monopolized my life.
People I know on Facebook today.
You said what, Tasha?
JB came up in people I might know on Facebook today.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we're not calling
love triangles.
She said, speaking of love triangles.
So what's the definition of love triangle?
What you say, Obi?
What's the definition of a love triangle?
3 people fucking in some shape, way, or form. You fucking 2, you fucking 3. One person don't know, everybody know. It's just 3 people
Yeah, somebody fell in love with you, and then they thought you was in love with them, but you wasn't. But you was. It was good, and y'all just a love. It was just messy. That's a love triangle.
I think a love triangle is three people who have a connection, that intimate connection with each other. It doesn't have to be love. It could be sexual. It can be love, but it also can be chemistry. But it doesn't necessarily have to have that lust and love connection that you think. But three people can connect with each other and have that triangle, but it's just between those three people only, and they get it and they understand it and they feel between each other. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you're talking about polyamory. We're talking about love triangles. We're talking about love triangles.
We're talking about love triangles.
I know, but
somebody fell in love and all that. Yeah. Because you know what? I've been in a situation like that before because you're too damn fine not to have been in a situation like that before. Sometimes that's look at that smile. Do it again.
What?
Yeah, see, that's what I know. Look, you was probably a walking love triangle, and I know.
I spent some time being reckless. I think we all have. Right before the maturation kicks in, is the experimentation. So I spent some time in a lab experiment.
I missed that lab.
Did he just say lab?
He did.
Nobody didn't send me no lab assignment. What we signed up at for the lab?
Yeah, I spent some time reckless. I was when I moved to Oklahoma, I separated from a marriage in 2013, moved to Oklahoma at the same time. So the person I was with, she and I had been together since I was 16. We separated in 2013. That was the first time in my adult life that I was able to operate as a single man. And they dropped me in Oklahoma. So I was reckless in Oklahoma for a period.
Ooh, they was throwing it at you, too. A poet coming through.
And I was in Oklahoma, too. That's what I'm saying. Oh, to be a part of that petri dish in that laboratory.
Bitch. She said the petri dish.
I need.
You say you would have been one of the lab rats in the petri.
Hey, she already a lab rat.
I would have been a lab rat. I sure would have.
Lab rat?
I'm not ashamed. I've been delivered now, but I would have been a lab rat.
In 2013.
13, 14, 15. It would have ended at 15, but I would have showed you something. I would have showed you a little something.
I was quietly reckless, I guess.
Who was sneaky?
I thought we were talking about T.I. and Tank.
Okay, let's get back on topic. Okay, Oobie, what's your...
You live in Oklahoma, so you wasn't even that quiet.
First of all you have to do in Oklahoma is fuck one person and everybody know. The whole city know.
The right one, though. It's the right one.
Yeah.
You gotta get that right one.
Yeah, the whole city know who you fuck.
Yeah, I've learned that. As long as they spend some time in the same building, they consider themselves related.
That's how your triangle went.
That's small. I got there. I was honest about everything, but honesty it takes more than that. When emotions kick in, logic goes out the window. So
yeah,
that is so true.
Everybody can't handle the honesty.
All right.
I was handling honesty like that though. I was dishing it out and I was taking it. I just went in that lab. I just hadn't made it to that lab yet.
I was mad at that.
I ain't saying nothing.
Hallelujah, Jesus, thank you. Hallelujah. All right, let's go. All right, where we at?
I was trying to get Oobie's. We was getting everybody's conclusion. Everybody said everything except for Oobie's. He didn't give his final synopsis on the stuff, and then we can move on to our topic.
Yeah, I think it's hard to say. I don't think we know enough. I think like Ebony said right now, it's just the gossip. I don't discount the fact that something happened. Everything may not have happened the way they say it happened to them, but I don't know. It depends on the amount of people. I've seen something that says like 16 people came forward. So unless all them people huddled up in the same room and came up with a plan to do this together, when 16 people say the same thing, there may be a percentage of truth in it. But the way the stories are being told may not paint the whole picture. So
they did throw that number out there, but we haven't seen any of those 16. except for the girl who we just played the video.
Yeah, so again, somebody might just made a number out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had no clue.
I didn't even hear about the 16, but dang.
Yeah, I've heard 16, I've heard 20-something, I've heard...
Where there is smoke, sometimes there is fire.
Hey. That means...
I used to agree with that until I was a dyke, so, you know.
Until you was a who?
A dyke.
You was a dyke? Like, you stopped?
I've never been a dyke, so I'm saying the rumor has surfaced around here for years. So you know, I used to be one that slung that where there's smoke, there's fire scenario, but not too much.
I think Tasha was guilt by association.
Hey, you a whole lesbian out in these streets, Tasha.
And apparently, my hair color.
Oh.
Apparently, if you dye your hair platinum blonde, that's you coming out of the closet.
Oh, okay. Note to self. Note to self.
Yeah.
Back then.
Wait, what if you already out the closet? It don't matter.
You dyking, I guess.
I mean, if I was gay, I would just be gay. I wouldn't hide it.
I'm just saying, is there a hair color for already out the closet?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't.
She said lots.
Hey, forgive me, people with lots. I'm lying. Don't at me, please. Don't at me. Don't at me. I'm just saying.
Alright, so me and Ebony was shooting the shit the other day, and we just decided we was gonna do some just randomly ass stupid topics. Normally the topics that we do always have some kind of story attached to them and shit like that, but we just decided we're just gonna start doing some random stupid ass shit. So basically we'll put the topic out and everybody just tell us the first thought that comes to mind. Okay? So the first topic is shit you don't say while fucking. Have at it.
Somebody else's name.
Okay, let's go.
You smell it?
Shit don't say, wow, fuck it.
Yeah. Y'all gotta think about it. Shit that you don't
Why
say.
is this so hard?
I don't know. I get that's shit in my head.
I mean,
What's your dad's name?
when is it gonna get hard?
Is it in there?
Yeah, I agree with both of those. I don't think you should ever say those.
I can't feel it. I can't feel it.
A guy as well. A guy. For a guy to ask, is it in there?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's probably not what it is.
I can't feel your walls.
I can't feel your exactly.
Maybe you can put that in my ass.
Maybe you should put it in my butt.
That's what she just said. That's what she just said.
We think like we here. Like I don't
No,
know.
you can't put it in my ass.
It's so much.
Tasha,
Another one from them lying around somewhere?
hey, what's your best friend's number?
Can I call a friend? Ooh, that move, honey.
Can I call a friend?
Can I call a friend?
You know I went to school with your mama, right?
Hey, this is the real shit right here. You know I took your sister to prom. I mean, we weren't having sex, but I was like, you old. I didn't realize you was that old.
Wait, that happened to you in real life. That sounds personal.
It did. The initials are WS. The initials are WS. When I say his name,
I already knew it was. And he did. I seen the picture.
yeah, and he showed me the pictures. Like, I was like, oh, you older than what I thought you were.
In the middle of fucking, you know I took your sister to prom.
In
the middle of fucking, call out his best friend's name.
You make me sick.
In the middle of fucking, you call out his best friend's name. Oh no. I'll be like, no.
Ask him when his wife coming home.
That's how you get a gun put on.
Look at Ebony.
Or fucking, and he calls out his homeboy's his name.
Wait a minute. Look at Ebony.
Wait, you was doing it to somebody?
No, that I've heard. That one of my Liz said that happened when she was having sex. He was doing her from behind, and he called that his homeboy's name. While they were fucking. I kid you not.
Wanda, you always have the craziest stories
swear
every
to you,
time
yes.
you come on here.
Did she continue to mess with him?
Yeah. Yeah.
Bless her heart.
Because she said the dick was good.
And it's all the same so too.
But I'm just saying, so every time he hit it from the back, was he like, Paul?
Yeah. More like Jermaine.
Jermaine? It's more like Jermaine. Oh, my bad. His name was Jermaine.
Figures. Every Jermaine I know is... Anyway, go ahead. Let's go to the next subject.
All right. So the next one is... This is the last one we're doing tonight because we're only doing the two. Shit.
Wait, before you say this, before you ask this, let me ask Obi. What does your name mean, Obi? And are we pronouncing it right?
Yeah, you're pronouncing it right. My name is, I made that name up. I was trying to catfish somebody. This might be a 2-3 minute story. I don't know if you want.
Okay, let's go. Let's shoot.
Okay. I never really been a fan of social media. Like, I never had a face. What is it called?
Face space.
What?
MySpace. I never had a MySpace, a Black Planet. I never had any of those things. So when Facebook came out, I thought it was like child's games. So I never got on it. There was a friend of mine in my house, and he was using Facebook. And I asked him, I said, how you use that? He said, you can just search for people, and first people you want, they'll pop up. So I thought it was like a world directory. Like anybody in the world would pop up if you put their name in it. And there was a girl when I was in high school. It was my first person who I had sex with. And the experience was probably great for me, but horrible for her, right? So after that happened, I never heard from her again. So now we talking 11 years later. I wanted to find her, see where she was at. So I opened up a Facebook page. Where I grew up in LA, they called me Bobby. So I didn't want to use Bobby because I didn't want people to find me. So I took the letters from Bobby and I scrambled them. It spells Obi. Mm-hmm. I'm from the West Coast. So I used West as a last name just to find this one person. So I made this page, Oobie West. And then people started finding me like through email addresses. Then I had like 40, 50 friends. I started enjoying the experience of a timeline. Shortly after that, I started doing what I considered as modeling. Then I started doing poetry. So then everybody from the art world knew me as Oobie West. Now it's an LLC. Now I can't get rid of it if I want to. It all started from trying to make up a fake name to find a woman.
All right.
That actually makes so much sense. I'm so glad I asked that question because if I just accidentally spurred out Oobie West, I'd be like, oh, you remember, that's just something I'm trying to order something, t-shirts. It was just in my head. You know, something, that makes so much sense. Thank you for sharing that.
You can call him Bobby. You can be like, Bobby, I just scrambled the words, baby.
I do call my husband Bobby sometimes. You're right.
Hey, first of all, she don't just call him Bobby. She said like Whitney and Bobby Brown.
Bobby!
Bobby!
That's it. That is true. His name is Robert.
Robert, okay, got it.
Yeah.
I won't even ask you your real name online. I'll ask you offline.
Okay.
All right. So, in the midst of us coming up with the just random ass topic to throw out a bunch of shit just to laugh at, everyone that listens to this podcast right now, I think this is going to be like our 103rd episode. Everybody know our favorite saying, courtesy of Ebony, is, I ain't got time. I ain't got time. So we decided we was going to do a I ain't got time segment. So I need to know what the fuck you ain't got time for today. What you ain't got time for?
Little dicks, limp dicks.
I ain't got time for a little dick, limp dick either.
Or a cutoff dick.
A cutoff dick?
You said them for people that cut off the dicks and stuff.
Oh, okay. some nullification.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? What you mean? They just cut you off so you can't have a dick no more? I'm like, what happened? What you ain't got time for, Tasha?
I ain't got time to be hanging out with these motherfuckers' representatives for 4 and 5 months.
First of all, yes. Please show your representative in the first 30 days so I can dismiss you. Please.
These motherfuckers in the first 30 seconds. I ain't got time. Period.
Obi, what you ain't got time for?
You are.
It sounds like y'all leaving it in the realm of relationships. As far as relationships, I don't got time to be hiding my phone. I don't have time for deception. I don't have time for a lack of productivity. I don't have time for dependency. I don't have time for
like him.
Clinginess.
What's the word I'm looking for? An unhealthy clinginess. Right? And there's some times when clinginess is absolutely appreciated, but unhealthy clinginess.
Clinging.
Yeah, so those are things I don't have time for.
Well, I ain't got time for.
This podcast is going to get me one of three things: divorced, murdered, or divorced or murdered. I can't even say it. Murdered.
I ain't got time for people bullshit in general. Liars, bullshit, soft dicks, underperforming dicks.
Ooh, this is about to get so personal because I've heard this so many times since a lot of the viewers don't know or listeners don't know what surgery I had. I had a hysterectomy. I ain't got time for no dry cat. Look, I ain't ready for it. Look, I am not. I ain't having it. Like, I can't have sex yet, but when I do, if this cat is dry, I'm gonna die. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Throw the whole pussy in the trash.
In the trash. It's gonna be garbage. I ain't even gonna know.
I ain't got time.
The woman who has had a hysterectomy?
No. Not that I'm aware of. Not that I've been told.
Okay.
I'm telling you, hysterectomy doesn't mean dry pussy. I had a hysterectomy, my pussy's not dry.
5 people that said that.
I thought that's why
Wanda?
you left your ovaries.
Okay. Oh,
I thought that's why you left your ovaries.
He did leave my ovaries.
That's why your pussy gonna still be wet. You'll still be wet.
Good. Bitch, I can't help. My brother was like, he just sent me a text, random ass
First
text.
of all,
like,
don't listen to nothing your fucking brother say. He have a penis, bitch. You don't listen to vagina information from a penis?
But look, he was like, man, you going to the funeral? I said, for what? He was like, that pussy gonna be dead. I was like, you know what? I ain't got time. I ain't got time. That's what I don't have time for. At all. Like,
You need to never let him get in your head. You know better than this. You know he ain't got no sense.
He's picking at me. He just be picking at me. But I don't. And I mean, for all the listeners who are listening, on February 27th, when my 6 weeks is up, I'm gonna let y'all know what's happening. Because look,
Bobby knows what's happening. That's the only person he knows.
Just make sure you have some coconut oil at your bedside, just because you're gonna need it. Just because you haven't had it, ain't been touched in a minute. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because Bobby was like, call your doctor and see if you can at least never mind. The mouth ain't got no problems. He trying to see what something else do.
Bobby said he's trying to see what something else do. All right, let's get into a little say my name. You ready, Ebony?
I am ready.
Okay, say my name.
Okay, so this letter is entitled Cheater's Wife. So, my hubby and I have been living separately since January. He cheated on me, and I honestly can't get past it. Like, he was in a whole relationship with this lady, and I just can't. He has since ended things, but it's still not the same. I tried to get even with him, and it made me feel worse. He wants to work things out, and one part of me wants my marriage. The other part wants to say, fuck it. I know that no one is perfect. I play and I joke all day, but in actuality, I'm torn. Should I work things out to save my marriage?
All right, Obi, you're our guest. Your thoughts?
It's tough. I think for me, it's not so much what you do, but what you do shows me what you're capable of, right? So if I'm with you and you're able to go out and do something with somebody else and then come look me in my face, it shows me what you're capable of. So it shows me what I potentially may have to deal with moving forward. So it doesn't matter whether or not you sever ties with that person in the past, that thing you're capable of is still in you. So now I'm forever worried about that. Like trust comes without thought. It's natural. Like if you have a job and you get paid every 14 days, you never question if that paycheck is coming. Sometimes you spend that money before the check come because you're that confident. That's trust. But anytime when something has went wrong, now you're just spending time trying to trust. And when you're trying to trust, pretty much you're just trying to convince yourself that what you know is possible isn't going to happen again. And that's tough to deal with. You have good days, you have bad days. You wake up sometimes and only good with the person, but whenever they're not in hindsight, something's wrong. Whenever you see everything looks like something, you see them pick up their phone, you assume that somebody's on the other line, so it's very hard to be comfortable when you feel like the person adjacent to you is capable of being deceptive. So we all have the ability to change, but I think sometimes your change just has to be demonstrated with the next person, but the person who you deceive doesn't have the ability to stand around and wait for that change or believe that change has come. And some changes can't be proven. If you're a crackhead and you're smoking crack and you say you're going to stop, when you stop, I can see you stop because your behavior changes at home. But if you was doing something behind my back, you can never prove to me you changed. You might have just got better at it.
All right.
So some changes can't be proven. So whether or not she should stay, that's absolutely per person. I was in a situation where I always said I would never stay. And then the same thing happened to me, and I stayed. Right? So,
hold up, you stayed?
Somebody cheated on you? Somebody cheated on you?
Who hurt you?
No, it was one of those things to where we both had lingering situations where we met. And rather than us closing those situations out, we rushed into a situation without handling that other things. Mm-hmm. So baggage. Yeah, so it was one of those things, and I had to just listen to my gut and make the decision I felt like was better.
All right. Did it pay off in the end? Are y'all still together? Y'all happily ever after? Like,
yeah, we're still together.
Okay. Ebony, your pussy just dried up. Your pussy just dried up.
Young relationship.
She said, dang.
Yes.
Your whole entire. I'm so sorry that you didn't get the response that you needed.
No, it's just I've been so disrespectful the whole time. Had I known that, I wouldn't have been asked disrespectful.
Listen, I can tell you have not been as disrespectful as I was to Mako's wife, okay? So
as y'all were to Mako's wife.
Right. Okay, y'all. Oh, thank you, Tasha, for not. I was trying to, own up to my part. I appreciate you, Tasha, for putting on the other person too. But yeah, I was real disrespectful to Mako's wife.
No, I don't feel like I've been disrespectful. You haven't been disrespectful.
Okay, good. Because I was and let me just say this too, because he said deep down in his gut. First off, he don't have an ounce of fat on that body right there, so it ain't no good. It's just like ain't no good.
See, she going deep. She about to do it. Tasha, she about to do it. Anybody else got something else to say about the damn letter before? Because anybody else? You don't got nothing to say? Tasha, how you feel about the letter?
I just, I'm a one and done type of person. I can't do the cheating. I mean, like I said, it is each individual's, however they deal with that. But I have trust issues when it comes to things like that. So yeah, I'm a one and done. To know for me, Alex.
All right. Well, for me, it's I actually need to know what else have you done great in this relationship that we've been in? If this is your only flaw, I won't say flaw, this is your only indiscretion, we may be able to talk it through. But if you are a habitual line crosser and you've just been doing all kind of shit, yeah, I'm gonna need to go ahead and dismiss you. I'm just telling you.
She did say that she did some get back and she didn't feel good about it, which leads me to believe that she gave the pussy up to somebody else too, which don't make her a better person. She trashed too.
Okay, Ebony, let's have it, because you didn't shut us up. So you must have liked some of the stuff we said, because normally you shut us all up.
I do, but I feel a little bit indifferent with this letter this time. I don't know if because they sucked out my insides, I feel different, like, as a woman or not. But, like, I have been the cheater, and, I have been...
You said it right, go ahead.
The cheatee. I've been the one that the person cheated with.
No, you've been the cheater, bitch. You literally have only been faithful in one relationship in your whole life.
And wait, y'all painting this picture of me that is not pleasant. Look,
bitch, it's the truth.
I have been faithful in this marriage. Yes, thanks.
That's it. The only relationship of your whole entire life.
I've been the cheater, and I've been the person that the person was cheating with.
It's still a cheater.
So, now, if I was to be cheated on, I would be hurt, but I honestly don't know right now if I leave or not. Because I kind of believe that getting even feels good, and it's a risk for me. So if I found that shit out, I would probably fuck his really good-looking cousin. And wouldn't feel no shame about it. And that would be something that we would just have to work through, because you did this to me and I fucked your cousin, and now we gonna be looking crazy at these family reunions, but we just gonna have to get through and get past it, because that's how this shit works. Don't do nothing to me if you don't want to done back to you.
I believe that bullshit is gonna be passed back and forth so many times. Karma's gonna eat your ass.
Hey,
did he just walk in? He just walked in when you said you gonna fuck his cousin?
He's getting ready for work, but he was just like, nigga, you nasty. Hard. So, I think it just depends on the individuals, and
that tone changed.
it just depends. Like, that tone did change. We get together, honey. But I don't know. I just don't know what I do. I really don't.
Okay, so, but I need you to speak on her letter, not what you would do. I need you to speak on her letter, because you is tripping. This ain't even how your segment go.
I know. I told you they sucked out my good side. Anyway, look. I do feel like he is trash. I do feel like he is trash because I don't know how long he cheated, because she didn't say. Well, she said for quite some time, and that means that he did it for a whole long time behind her back. And men are sloppy cheaters, so he was lying the whole time, deceiving the whole time. He just wasn't.
He's done it over and over again.
Yeah, so he did over and over again. So he's garbage, and I just need to know who she cheated with. That she felt bad about it, because she should have did it with somebody who had a big old thing, and that she wasn't going to be able to, or none of that. So something that was going to take that pain away and just make her walk back in, barely walking, and being like, look, I cheated on you, and it was great, and you didn't cheat on me. Maybe we can work it out, maybe we can't. But he's trash. I think that she should probably leave him. He's garbage. Throw the whole dick in the trash. He's trash. Because he probably doing it again as I finish reading this letter. He probably fucking with her coworkers. You never know. So.
You never know.
Yeah, I ain't got time.
You ain't got time? I ain't got time.
So, I ain't got time. I don't.
All right. Well, at this time, Mr. Oobie, we're going to ask for you to bless us with something that is stimulating to our ears, mind, soul, and spirit.
And vaginas.
What? He just told you what his platform is right now. It's not going to stimulate your vagina.
I forgot.
He's advocating right now.
Advocate for this pussy then. Go ahead.
Now comes the disrespect.
Let me see. There we go. A woman's beauty lies within the length of her hair. A woman's beauty lies within the length of her hair. That means the shorter your hair is, the further you are from beautiful. A woman's beauty lies within the length of her hair. Lies lie within the mouth of whomever spat this nonsense from the platform with their uninformed lips. A woman's beauty lies within her gender. It is your birthright. Every day that you made your amazing escape from the universe, beauty has bust down the doors to delivery war, wage war against all ugliness. Gorgeous has guaranteed to spend a lifetime with your eyes. Amazing has glazed your face. Stunning has stood on the edge of your cheek. Nose dove into your smile. Astonishing has stole the address to your soul. Cracked the code on your ribcage. Furnished your aura with irresistibleness. Now it exudes through your pores, and not once throughout this process was your hair length considered. But little girls' opinions have been apprehended by the apparition that beauty is the wavy rivers that flows through flowing hair, and Goldilocks is locked fools go in adolescent minds, convincing them that their worth is lessened if their vines aren't ground length. That's why the purchase of synthetic self-esteem is so groundbreaking. But I beg to differ, and I beg that we discontinue differentiating Rapunzel from Rebecca, because Rebecca chose to ignore the stereotype that her worth was birthed from her scalp and must be greased with clovers. I mean to tell you, you do not need boots in order for your life to speak volumes. An aquanet will not hold you as steadfast as your confidence will. Your beauty lies within the bravery to be yourself. So a set of clippers has not cut your ties with a lure, nor has it faded your beauty to opinion. You wake up and gold taper tells me that you are not imprisoned by opinions, that your self-worth is too steadfast to be blown in the wind. So when these self-esteem poachers come for your head, just brush them off. Watch them tumble from relevance, bounce off your shoulders and hit the ground with no impact. Maybe I'm a little biased because my fingers have developed a fetish for fondling scalps. I have a weather control panel installed in my palms that can cause hot flashes, promote precipitation, and potentially flood your entire southern region. So please let this poem be a detangler for your twisted perception. Remind all those who are waking out because the wigs are so down. And whether your hair is long or your hair is gone, your beauty, it lies within your gender. It is your birthright.
Yeah.
My snaps make no noise, but I'm snapping.
Yes, honey, yes.
It was beautiful.
He did say something about a southern region, Ebony. He did.
Did you catch it?
Did you catch the southern region?
I caught all of the regions.
Okay. Thank you so much, Obi. Can you please tell everyone how to follow you, how to find you, how to listen, whatever you got? Tell us about your platform.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything is pretty much Oobie West. Instagram is Oobie West. My website is OobieWest.com. Advocacy website is SpokenAdvocacy.com. LinkedIn is Oobie West. Facebook is Oobie West. Email is info@Oobie West. So everything is pretty much Oobie West. You can find me on either one of those platforms.
Awesome. We thank you for being on the show. We thank you for giving us another perspective. You have calmed our whole show for tonight. Normally we just be hype and unruly and shit, but you done came up here with your damn demeanor dick that just slowed everything down and shit. We all in the vibe like we smoked some shit. Ain't nobody smoked a damn thing. Thanks to you and your chill ass vibe.
Actually praying for some calmness, Obi, so thank you.
You know what I'm saying? It's 100%. He brought the calm to the show. And it still was foolishness, but it was still calm. Normally we just be out, just you done heard the show. We just ain't got no.
I feel like I I was tamed.
You were. And it was only because of how much you like him, you know, his poetry and all of that stuff. Because you some other bitch today. But it's okay. We accept you, new bitch. We accept you.
Amazing new perspective. Really appreciate it.
We do. We do.
I enjoyed myself. I really did. I appreciate you all having me. This is different from most of the interviews and podcasts. This was a go break in monotony. I appreciate. I do have one question though.
Yes.
What does two dicks in one mouth mean?
So I will gladly explain. All right. So this young lady to my right, which would be to your left if you're looking at the screen, but she's to my right. We did a show and we were just talking about different things in sex that we do or whatever. And she was talking about that she gave head to two dicks at one time in her mouth. So to this day, we have 8,700 listeners at this point. And to this day, it is our #1 episode. People listen to it. I mean, it's the most shared episode that we've ever had. They are fascinated by this young lady and her mouth that she was able to suck two dicks. We know what her mouth do. It can do two dicks at one time.
What episode is that? So that I can go and listen.
I don't know what number it is, Tasha, but I'll tell you.
40 something.
Yeah, it's like in the 40s.
Okay.
But yeah, it is. Say it again.
Were these two dudes okay with their dicks rubbing up against each other's dicks?
Yeah, it didn't matter, but how it was in my mouth, one was going this way and one was going that way.
But they still had to both be right here, though.
Yeah.
That blows my mind every time you say it.
And that's
I just don't know.
the size of a black and mild, and trust me, they're out there.
She did say that they weren't small dicks, but they were not large at all.
They weren't large. They were decent size, but like I said, it has to be done this way.
I'm good. I'm not trying.
He said, "I'm just trying to understand. I don't need the details."
I understand it.
I understand because I've seen it on porn quite often.
I've seen it on porn too, but we were all thrown off because we were having a whole nother side conversation, and she was like, "I've sucked two dicks at the same time in my mouth," and we had a whole nother guest that was talking about something else, and we was like, we had to pause the whole show. I was like, wait a minute. Did y'all just hear? This bitch just said she sucked two dicks at the same time. Like
there's no way that could have happened without the teeth scraping. Like,
yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
You know,
you gotta open up.
Ebony, you can't speak for her mouth.
You're right.
Tasha, look at Tasha. You can't speak for her mouth.
Hey, don't get mad at me because I need the logistics of it all. Don't get mad at me.
I mean, I'm just saying, you ask your question. Don't.
Anyway, look. This is an hour. The hour's over.
Hey, she's the GOAT. Hey, she is our guest GOAT. She is the GOAT of Naturally Unbothered.
Right.
She's the guest that everyone always asks about. Every time they look, they be like, two dicks, one mouth. Like, she
just the same way he did.
Yeah.
You can put your fist in your mouth?
No, I can't.
Oh, okay.
Because the dicks are easier.
Let's wrap this show before it gets completely out of control.
Okay, let's go, Ebony. Take us to the house.
You can follow Naturally Unbothered on IG, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. You can email us at naturallyunbothered2@gmail.com. Or you can leave us a voicemail at, okay, so if you want to see how pretty, if you want to hear the poetry that comes out of Oobie West, please call 912-434-1414 and we will get you connected if you didn't get all the information you needed at the close of the show. Again, 912-434-1414. Check out them abs, that modeling that he said he did a little bit like me. That's a whole lot of modeling. I done seen it. It's really dope. So please, we welcome the feedback, the comments, the show ideas. Ebonites, you know how I absolutely love your show requests, your idea requests, your advice requests, so keep them coming. Listen on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor. We are on Audible now. We're on iHeartRadio, Google Breaker Public, Overcast, YouTube. You can catch this on YouTube or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Make sure you subscribe, you rate, you leave a review if you want, and click the notification button so that you are notified every time we drop a new episode. If you're looking for Naturally Unbothered merch, we have shot glasses. We have t-shirts. Nobody has a t-shirt on us. Y'all tripping. T-shirts, mugs, whatever you want.
I'm traveling for work. I ain't got no t-shirt on today.
Whatever. Click. Go to www.naturallyunbothered.com and click the merch link. Click that, and we'll get it right out to you. So, thank you so much, Oobie West. Now, what I need everybody to do is to tell their whole ass friends, to tell their whole ass friends, to tell their whole ass friends to tune in to Naturally Unbothered.
That is what the fuck is up. All right.
You are so great, Oobie. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Until next time, everybody, this has been another episode of Naturally Unbothered. Peace.
Deuces.